Order 66, the order that forced the clone troopers to turn against the Jedi, murdering them by the hundreds, in an effort to pave the way for the rise of the new galactic empire. The inhibitor chips, organic chips placed within every single clone's mind, forcing the clones to lose their personality and their will to turn against their mandated programming. 99% of the clone troopers executed Order 66 without hesitation due to the inhibitor chips, the chips that forced them to follow the command of Palpatine as well as the Grand Army of the Republic without remorse and without mercy. There were, however, an extremely small amount of clone troopers that managed to avoid the order through various means, whether they removed their inhibitor chips entirely or whether their inhibitor chips were deemed ineffective. There is a small amount of clone troopers that managed to avoid executing Order 66 by various means, and in today's video, we will explain and explore every single clone trooper that did not execute Order 66 strictly in canon. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and let's begin. To start off, I would like to talk about a clone trooper that did execute Order 66, but would later remove his own inhibitor chip. This being Commander Wolff, the clone trooper that served directly below Jedi Master Plo Koon, who of course was shot down above Cato Nemoidia during Order 66. It was believed for some time that Commander Wolff did not actually execute Order 66 because of his appearance in Star Wars Rebels. However, later Dave Filoni explained that he believed that Commander Wolff had in fact executed Order 66, but that Rex had found him later and removed the inhibitor chip, explaining that this is why in Rebels, Commander Wolff seems more unstable than Gregor and Rex, the repercussions of Order 66 still rattling within his brain, and the fact that he turned against the Jedi, haunting him forever. Now though, let's explore our first clone trooper that likely did not execute Order 66. Clone Trooper Gregor. Gregor was a clone commando during the Clone War, and although after his exile he did eventually rejoin the ranks of the Grand Army of the Republic, there is no information that Gregor actually executed Order 66, and in Star Wars Rebels he is also seen alongside Wolff and Rex. While it's clear that Gregor may have gone slightly insane, he does not appear as grizzled as all as Wolff here, meaning it's quite possible that Gregor did not in fact execute Order 66, although there is of course the probability that he did. However, this has never been confirmed nor denied by Filoni or anybody at Lucasfilm. Next up, we have Clone Trooper Fives, Fives being the clone that uncovered the massive conspiracy of the inhibitor chips to begin with. Unfortunately, Fives would be killed by his fellow clones, after Palpatine ordered that the clone be executed for going insane, and for his own inhibitor chip going haywire, even though this was a false report. Fives would die before Order 66, but he did have his inhibitor chip removed, meaning obviously that he would not have executed the order during the Clone War. It may be crazy to think, but out of all of the characters in Star Wars during the Clone Wars, Fives came the closest to defeating Palpatine. Next up, we have Clone Trooper Kix. Kix was a clone who was exceptionally close to Fives, and upon hearing of his death was inspired to look more closely into what Fives was trying to exploit. Unfortunately again, Dooku, as well as Palpatine, discovered that Kix was aware of Order 66 and the inhibitor chips, and had the clone kidnapped. Instead of having Kix killed, however, they placed him in suspended animation, with Kix being revived during the sequel era of films, his programming of Order 66 never being enacted. He is also likely one of the only clone troopers still alive during that era because of their accelerated aging. Next up, we have the Bad Batch with the exception of Crosshair. It is explained in the Bad Batch series that the Batch did not execute Order 66 because of their own genetic mutations, and the genetic mutations tampering with the inhibitor chips implanted within their brain. Again, with the exception of Crosshair, Order 66 does not register with any of the members of the Batch, with Clone Force 99 immediately going on the run after refusing to follow orders from Tarkin to kill innocent civilians. Next up, we have Cut Lawquane. Cut was obviously a deserter who left the Grand Army of the Republic to start a life and a family of his own. When we see Cut in the Bad Batch, he has not executed Order 66, likely for a very special reason. That reason being, Order 66 can only be triggered by Palpatine Darth Sidious, with a few exceptions, and Cut was likely simply not around the order when it was given, meaning his inhibitor chip was not activated. Next up, we have Captain Rex, who obviously executed Order 66 initially. However, with the help of his friend and Jedi, Ahsoka Tano, she was able to find the inhibitor chip within Rex's mind, and remove it with the help of some droids. Rex was one of the few clones lucky enough. He's also one of the clones that showed some affinity to resist Order 66, with him telling Ahsoka to look for information on Clone 5s, knowing that this was his only hope, and exactly what was going on as soon as the inhibitor chip was activated. Next up, we have the clone Omega, who is the enhanced female Jango Fett clone that we see in the Bad Batch. We're not even sure exactly if Omega has an inhibitor chip to begin with. All we know is that the effects of Order 66 have appeared to have none on her. And finally, the last clone is one that only partially obeyed Order 66, that being the clone known as Gray. Gray was a clone that served under Depa Billaba and Caleb Dume, and although he did kill the Jedi Master Depa, he later would sacrifice himself as well as the lives of many other clones in order to save Caleb, the one who would one day become Kanan Jarrus. It seemed as if Gray had shown the same mental fortitude as Captain Rex, being able to stave off Order 66 if only for a moment that would ultimately save Caleb. Anyway though guys, that is it. Those are all of the canon clone troopers that we know of that were able to resist Order 66 and did not execute it. But what are your thoughts on this? And of all of the clones that we discussed today, which one is your favorite? If more information is revealed about more clones that managed to stave off Order 66, I will obviously make a video detailing them. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.